how an F-15 once landed without one wing. The McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle is definitely one of the best fighters ever. The first F-15 flew in 1972, and it's still being produced. And in 1983, an F-15D performed an incredible landing. The Israeli Defense Force was conducting training exercises in Negev. An F-15D collided in midair with an A-4 Skyhawk. The Skyhawk pilot managed to eject before the plane disintegrated. The F-15's right wing was sheared from its body, only 2 feet from the main fuselage, but the fighter's crew didn't even know what had happened. Leaking fuel along the wing obscured their view. There were 2 men piloting the F-15, Zivi Nadivi, pilot, and Yehor Gal, navigator. After the collision, their plane went into a spin. Nadivi tried to recover control by using the afterburner to gain speed. He reconnected the electric control to the control surfaces. As he slowly gained control of the aircraft, it became straight and level again. It was clear to Nadivi that he had to eject, but then he thought better of it. No warning light was on, and the navigation computer was still functional. Nadivi still had no idea that he had lost a wing. Then his instructor pilot ordered Nadivi to eject, but Nadivi outranked Gal, so he didn't listen. The F-15's wing serves as a fuel tank. Nadivi noticed that the fuel indicator was on 0. He assumed that the jet stream sucked all the fuel out of the other tanks. He remembered, however, that the valves operate only in one direction. This made him certain that he had enough fuel to get to an airfield.
I worked like a machine, wasn't scared, and didn't worry. All I knew was as long as the sucker flies, I'm gonna stay inside.
Zivi Nadivi. The next thing Nadivi did was lower the arresting hook. He prevented the engines from stalling and managed to keep control. This was possible thanks to the lift created by the large surface area of the stabilators and fuselage. The remains of the wings probably helped keep the plane airborne as well. The aircraft was diverted to Ramon Air Base, southwest of Beersheba. A few seconds later, it touched the runway at 260 knots. This was about twice the recommended landing speed. Nadivi called the tower to erect the emergency recovery net. The hook was torn away from the fuselage because of the speed. The pilot finally managed to bring the craft to a full stop about 20 feet from the end of the runway. That was when he got the shock of his life.
I turned back to shake the hand of my instructor, who had urged me to eject, and then I saw it for the first time. No wing.
Afterward, the aircraft was thoroughly examined. It was repaired and went on to down a Syrian MiG-23 in 1985. In a later interview, Zivi Nadivi commented,
"The F-15 has a very wide lifting body. You fly fast enough and you're like a rocket. You don't need wings.